Greetings, heroes and villains. Duuz-Diz-Din back with more My Hero Academia. Previously, Spinner's attack on the hospital containing Kurogiri is underway. Him alongside several members of the Paranormal Liberation Front who are heteromorphs and average citizens who live in rural areas and were persecuted because of their appearance. But Kota, who is also a heteromorph, as well as Shoji, who grew up in those rural areas and suffers scars because of the persecution he faces down this group, head held high. As Shoji wishes to be someone who changes the system from within, looking to find a better way than just wanton violence for violence sake, because that was what it was inflicted upon him. He wishes to be the change he wants to see in the world. But with Spinner not having a mind of his own currently, because of the gigantification quirk as well as an armored quirk, Spinner has just become a mindless engine of destruction, while Shoji is fired by his burning passion. Who will win out? Join me as I find out. Won't you? Alright, it's flashback. Shoji and Kota talking with All Might and Eraserhead. It seems before they all headed out, Shoji asking the two teachers, please assign us to defending Central Hospital. All Might questions, how did you find out? We never told you about that. Shoji says, that large woman said some troubling things, so I asked her more about what's going on out there. All Might says, oh right, the big lady. Does she have a name yet? Shoji says, plus some of the refugees mentioned something about a call to action. That's how we learned that a group of heteromorphs are going after the hospital. Kota says, if Shoji's going, then so am I. Because of the nature of how she looked, she was probably told about it. Shoji says, standing back while this plays out would mean I could never call myself a hero. This is My Hero Academia number 372. Naked? Aizawa closes his eye. I'm sorry. And later we see him speaking to President Mike saying, we spread false rumors about where he was transferred, but the enemy didn't take the bait. Yamada, I hate to ask, but can you be there to support the boys? And we see that while several heteromorphs have been bound down by the heroes, Present is only able to look from the sidelines as Shoji goes all in, as he thinks to himself, know this, Aizawa-sensei. They say quirks get stronger by the generation. These kids, no, these young men are already way stronger than we were back in our day. As the three Domingos? Okay, I get what you were going for, but still. Mike gets ready to let out an intense blast. Shoji is about to clash with Spinner. Kota seems to unlock his ability, giving him greater control of every kind of animal in the area, going after the one insectoid-like member of the Paranormal Liberation Front. I guess we see a young Koji talking with, I guess, his mom? I thought his mom looked different. And she says, one day, Koji, your horns might grow in too. And with these horns, you'll be able to beam your thoughts and feelings to animals that are even further away. Your mama has had to put up with some real cruelty because of the way she looked. But your dad got so riled up on my behalf, he told those awful people not to mock my amazing horns. Koji, it's okay to be mad. Grow up to be a man who gets mad when people mock something or someone dear to you. We see Koji using his ability, Hitchcock birds, to attack the one spider heteromorph. Shoji uses his ability where he's just making this huge fist out of all of his flesh called Octospansion. That sounds like from Splatoon. While we see President Mike just shout out this massive blast. I don't really know where that blast was going though. Maybe it also hit Spinner, but Spinner's scales just shatter straight from the hit. Shoji calls out, what will you choose to protect with those scales and that giant body? Tell me, Spinner. The rest of you too. What are you hoping to protect with your gifts and your power? Don't let them exploit your wounds. As Shoji thinks back to Aoyama, who was exploited because of his, disabilities. Essentially, it is very similar because he didn't have a quirk. His family was exploited because of how society would see them. Again, something that isn't brought up enough. And Shoji even says, your children might be the next target. I see that the girl that Shoji originally saved from his village, after she fell into the river, she said to him after he was attacked by the angry mob who saw his face, she comes to him crying, If I'd never fell in that river, they never would have hurt your face and made it all scary. Shoji calls out, be better than mere avengers. But Spinner then speaks out, the grudge never fades. And the people below say, rep. A Spinner calls out, if the heroes win the day, nothing will ever change. And the people say, oh, the call to action we heard that night. Oh, okay. What he had said that got everybody basically on his side. Is he just spouting it out, or is this Spinner's mind just working again? For the crime of walking in public, they sprayed me with pesticide. When they hit us, we hit them back. Brethren, be heard and follow me. And then he goes rocketing towards the hospital as Koda's birds are coming to Shoji's rescue. Well, trying to at least, as Shoji thinks, even stronger now? With enough power to crack the concrete? The people below rally behind Spinner and continue to march towards the hospital. As the police below say they're even more fired up. Too many of them. Can't take much more. And then a gunshot goes off outside. But Spinner comes bursting through the hospital door with several people, and Spinner thinks back to All for One's words. Kurogiri was transferred to the research wing. Once you reach him, play a recording of either Mai or Tomura's voice. Kurogiri's quirk will bring this conflict to an end. You see several doctors and nurses, heteromorphs and regular looking people, standing in front of a place labeled Impatient Ward. Spinner thinks to himself, oh, for Tomura's sake, you will become a hero. Or was that All for One talking to Spinner? They're guarding the terminally ill people. It's like, whatever you want, but don't come this way. A lot of the people who are fighting stop dead in their tracks, while Spinner keeps going forward to what he's after. He thinks to himself, I thought I'd never get to be anyone, but by following you, maybe I can really be somebody. Shigaraki, just watch me. I've got my allies behind me. But as Spinner looks behind him, he doesn't see anyone. But then a voice calls out, saying Shoji must have gotten through to them. And listen, that guy in there ain't gonna be your ace in the hole. I see. Spinner had gotten to where Kurogiri was being stored. And well, Spinner calls out to Kurogiri. Present Mike calls out to Shirakumo. Okay, so this ended up being kind of like that last battle of wills, where Shirakumo managed to rise to the surface maybe one last time, maybe pass on. Some element of him still surviving, because that's the thing about the high-end Nomu, is that a lot of their mental functions are kept in play. But we've seen Kurogiri act before. They were barely able to get through to him. Still, I am grateful, because Spinner's mental state, him just, being puppeted essentially, but still seeing that mentally he thinks he's doing the right thing. Like, he's leading a revolution. He's breaking down the old society. He thinks he's doing the right thing, which was what I wanted to begin with. I wanted Spinner to speak, and this is what we're getting. He thinks this is what needs to be done in order for progress to be made. That the heroes have failed the people, and now it's time for his people to rise up. I am wondering how this all ends, because it's obvious the people, upon seeing that there are heteromorphs as well as average-looking people standing in front of the ward for those who are just terminally ill. It's just like, no, do not come this way. There are people who need to be helped. There are people who need to be helped. And I think what caused a lot of those people to stop in their tracks was just seeing, someone who looks like them and someone who looks like the others standing hand in hand. It was also the fact that it's that realization of what Shoji was saying before. What will you do when you get to that hospital? What are you actually going to accomplish? And you free one of your leader's friend, but what does this really accomplish in the end? It'd be one thing if they were attacking a government building or going after some racist asshole or people who have done them wrong, but these are sick people. No, you're being used. Again, would have loved to see a lot of these issues pushed more to the forefront. Again, Vigilantes did a much better job of really putting this out there. But I'm still glad it's being addressed. I want this at least, rather than to have just had it just disappear by the end of things. If it's the choice between this and not having it at all, I'd rather have this a million times though. I'm enjoying this. I'm glad to see Shoji, Koda, Present Mike all having their last little hurrah of a moment. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Is it good enough for you? Is this all the things you wanted to happen with these characters? Because for me it is. Like, I'm getting a lot of the things I wanted for all of these characters here. But I know that for some people, these aren't characters you care about. You care about Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, that's about where that list ends. But I'm interested to hear your opinion. Also remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on the next reaction. But until then, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.